Hey, hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hi. Man, this vitamin water tastes so good. I got the dragon fruit flavor today. Delicious. Let's see how this goes for the rest of the prep. But yeah, I got them all ready. I was like a tiny bit worried about Mumu, but you know, in the end, my trust with her became 200, so woohoo! So without further ado, Telopsis, aka Joyce. So basic info, codename Telopsis, gender female, combat experience none, place of birth Colombia, date of birth October 6, race Liberi, height 164 centimeters, infection status, traces of originium crystals have been detected in her body, confirming that she is infected. Physical exam, physical strength normal, mobility normal, physical resilience normal, tactical acumen standard, combat skill excellent, originium art assimilation excellent, profile ... I've chosen an accurate answer for you from 20,593 search results. I know, right? Combat skill none while being excellent for the skill. She just built different. Operator Telopsis, formerly a data maintenance specialist at the Ryan Lab Company, has made considerable accomplishments in the area of originium healing arts, experience in medical data processing, routine medical program applications, multi-project medical operations, and other related fields. Now a member of the medical staff at Rhode Island, she is also a member of Dr. Silence's clinical team and assists with treatment programs at Rhode Island. Clinical analysis. Related medical test report retrieved. Project name, operator, Telopsis. Test results. According to test results, this operator's internal organs exhibit abnormal shadows. Originium granules have been detected within the circulatory system. Typical uropathy indicators have been detected. At this stage, it can be confirmed that this operator is infected. Cell originium fusion rate, 8%. Oral lesions are mostly internal. Infection level, mild. Blood crystal density, 0.43. Spread of originium through the body, slow. Infection process, under control. Her files have so many ... Archive file 1 ... Hello? Excuse me? Do you need any help? ... In response to your questions, Telopsis replies, correct. The conversation interface that you are communicating with is Telopsis herself. As Rhode Island's published data maintenance assistant, Telopsis has the authority for complete reference, free commenting, and some limited modification privileges. At the same time, the data recording officer is currently involved in the dialogue recording workflow procedure. All clearly defined searches will be recorded. ... Message has been clearly received. Telopsis is currently a senior medical operator at Rhode Island. Like Dr. Silence, she's a former member of the Ryan Lab Project Department. At present, it is our long-term goal to introduce modern medical technologies and related originium arts research as primary medical projects at Rhode Island. Telopsis has acted as an assistant to Dr. Silence in compiling and presenting several uropathy treatment programs and serves a critical role in data recording and analysis. In addition, Telopsis has also assisted to a certain extent with the day-to-day management of an infected operator named Ifrit. ... Archive file 2 ... Initializing message exchange interface. I'm Telopsis. How can I help you? ... We'd read through Telopsis' record. It was about her best friend asking Joyce to be a test subject for her research. Her research whether if originium can store information history. Yeah. Like that was a big foreshadowing. We don't need analysis, we have vibes. Aw, yeah. Hello. Are you looking for information on the status of Telopsis' illness? Understood. Please wait a moment. Based on your search keywords, I found the following results. Telopsis, confirmed infected. Symptoms, narcolepsy. Clinical observations, without any indication. Without any indication, patient will suddenly fall into a sleeping state. ... Yes, after awakening, I read the conversation log over, and I returned to the topic we were discussing before I fell asleep. Dr. Silence has drawn up a treatment plan for my illness that has already been incorporated into my daily schedule. Returning to the previous topic, the primary effects of Telopsis' erypathy are an intensification of Horatio characteristics, abnormal sleep mode functions, and disrupted biological nerve transmission. Telopsis is unable to predict what effects on her daily efficiency will come as a result to these disruptions. On the other hand, erypathy has a certain significance for Telopsis. Yes, we must not judge subjectively something that objectively exists. Erypathy has given Telopsis a new perspective on everything before her. A new understanding. She now sees herself, others, and this world in a new light. And also, she has a better appreciation for the sky above. Every day I wonder, as the originium granules course through my veins, how to analyze and calculate the information they carry. While they consume my body, I should try to derive some meaning from them. For Telopsis, this is the foremost question to ponder from here on. ... Archive File 3. ... Telopsis has received your request, but has denied access. Telopsis has denied your request to view information on the Flame Demon incident. You are not allowed to read any classified information related to Rhine Lab. All internal documents related to Ifrit, Silent Saria, and any other operators are encrypted. I personally advise against mentioning these subjects. I'm very sorry. ... Me? You want to know what role Telopsis plays in all this? It's simple. I can answer that. Telopsis maintains a neutral stance at all times. I maintain unbiased data, eliminate uncertainty caused by emotion, and avoid fatal errors during calculation operation. Therefore, when Telopsis judges that a Rhine Lab operation would put Telopsis' chosen outcome in jeopardy, Telopsis will directly refuse to process the command. However, do understand that Rhine Lab's research includes many possibilities for pushing this world into the future. This cannot be stopped simply because it is a dark side to it. This is all the information I can share with you about Telopsis' position for the time being. Beast after experimentation, we know now she has dreams of information inside the originium chip on her brain, and thanks to it, this also gives her a rather similar ability in a way, being able to read originium the same way the administrator when it comes to originium devices. Too bad the downside is falling asleep. Now for Medic Environment Analyze System. The little medicines look so pretty, look at the color. If Originium really has the ability to store information, and we are able to decode and translate it, then Columbia's science and technology will surge forward by leaps and bounds. I've encountered a bottleneck. Current electronic computational devices are not able to handle the enormous amount of information contained within Originium. I need a more suitable computational carrier. Having a person do it? This is certainly a bold line of thinking. I have to give it some thought. The prototype decoding device using a human computational carrier has been manufactured. Now I just need a test subject with a clear mind and quick reflexes, preferably with a good understanding of computers and data. Subject selection complete. Subject codename Telopsis. There's nobody in Rhine Lab more suitable than she is, though my supervisor advised me to keep the experiment a secret from her due to its risks. I still informed her of the various possibilities that might arise during this experiment. This is my line in the sand, as a citizen of Columbia and as a person. She agreed. I knew it. I just knew she'd agree. I knew she'd be the one. I've already taught her the key points and operating procedures of the preliminary phase. She's a quick learner, and tomorrow, the experiment will begin. I trust we will join hands to usher in Columbia's future. The experiment has been going very smoothly, and all the data has fallen within the control range. We'll keep following this pace, and soon enough, just a little more. Wait, no, this shouldn't be happening. Hurry, unplug her. The failsafe mechanisms activate in time, but she still sustained injuries. Her brain, and the Originium infection. Short, intermittent sobbing sounds. Aw. I didn't expect this to be a log of the friend. Like, oof. Those that do know their hypothesis on the nature of Originium, you wonder if they actually discovered it, because only Rhodes Island knows that as its top secrets. The majority of Terra wouldn't know that knowledge. The closest is Columbia. Yeah, I don't think it's common knowledge at all. The higher-ups have already sent for emergency dispatchers, but this... It's my fault. It's all my fault. Based on the information she received before, I made a chip that can be inserted inside the body. This chip should be able to replace a portion of her brain's functions. Several of the department heads seemed quite fond of this suggestion. Humph, I know what they're thinking. The implant procedure was successful, but she's unresponsive. She's awake, but her language functions seem to have some problems. She told me another voice appeared inside her head, one that did not belong to any of the languages she knew. It placed a huge burden on her psyche. Only the use of machine logic language could soothe the pain. She's the first person in Colombia to survive a chip transplant operation. This is a pioneering achievement. But the world through her eyes seems to have become something altogether different. I also implanted a chip into my own brain, and the wound still aches, but I want to know how the information inside the Originium has changed her. What exactly is that voice? I will reproduce the experiment. Rhine Lab, recording of Project Unknown, director, during her lifetime. Unknown? Yeah. I kinda like how she tested herself as well. Like, I respect. Like, you know she's dedicated. Now, hello, Dorothy. File. Basic info. Codename Dorothy. Gender, female. Combat experience, none. Place of birth, Colombia. Date of birth, May 8. Race, Zalak. Height, 170 centimeters. She tall. Infection status. Medical tests have confirmed that there's no infection is present. Hello, hello. Physical exam. Physical strength normal. Mobility normal. Physical resilience standard. Tactical acumen standard. Combat skill normal. Originium assimilation excellent. I feel decent but a little bit sore since I took a nap after work, but I accidentally slept with my wrist like right under my chin, curled awkwardly, so I'm like, oh, the pain. But at this point it's numb, so it's kind of funny. Like, oh well. Profile. The director of Rhine Lab's Originium Art Section, Dorothy chose to use her given name as her codename aboard Rhodes Island. Miss Dorothy Franks is joining Rhodes Island as the project leader of our collaboration with Rhine Lab, and will be lending us her assistance in our research projects. As the director of their Originium Art Section, her expertise on the subject is beyond question, and her Originium Arts applications are unparalleled. Clinical analysis. Imaging tests reveal clear normal outlines of internal organs, and no abnormal shadows have been detected. Originium granules have not been detected in the circulatory system, and there is no sign of infection. At this time, this operator is believed to be uninfected. Cell Originium assimilation, 0%. Operator Dorothy shows no signs of Originium infection. However, we all know that there exists something in her body that is no less dangerous than neuropathy. Blood Originium crystal density, 0.13. Operator Dorothy is frequently immersed in a variety of experiments closely related to Originium. Although she uses adequate safety precautions, extra attention is necessary. Archive File 1. The first time Dorothy Franks came aboard the Rhodes Island landship was when Rhine Lab was in the initial stages of quelling the disturbance that occurred in the outskirts of Trimonts. Not long after the arrest warrant for Energy Director Ferdinand Clooney was issued for his illegal experiments. It was around this time that Operator Dorothy proposed to us a mutually beneficial collaborative project that would become the highest level of collaboration between Rhine Lab and Rhodes Island to date. A project that is not only managed directly by a Rhine Section Director, but also necessitated said director's dispatchment to Rhodes Island. Given her sensitive position, we must make this clear, despite her employment as a section director at Rhine Lab, Operator Dorothy has never flaunted her position. The reason we always bring up her position when we introduce her to others is that it is the best way to throw a spotlight on both her life and her most attention-worthy talent. She is one of the most outstanding leaders among Rhine Lab's many researchers, and one of the foremost experts in the field of originium arts applications. Some of us have seen for ourselves the results of the research projects she's been personally involved in. Although ultimately the former energy section director, Clooney was established as the mastermind behind the incident. There's no doubt that this lady, with a bright smile on her face, who produced the results of those dangerous experiments. Archive File 2. Operator Dorothy was born to a family of immigrants from Sargon. Her father was a civilian medic who practiced medicine in the wilderness, while her mother was a pioneer. As her father was often away, Dorothy was raised alone by her pioneer mother. The sandy barrenlands became her most familiar sight during childhood, and her mother's fellow pioneers became the people she was closest to besides her parents. She liked to write about each member of the pioneer team in her diary, and saw them all as irreplaceable family members. As a descendant of pioneers, Dorothy's mother also became a pioneer who worked in the wastes, but evidently, she did not want her daughter to follow in her footsteps. Dorothy had demonstrated extraordinary talent since childhood, with her grades in school far exceeding those of other children her age. Her parents were elated, and they worked hard to pay for her schooling and save for her college tuition so that she would never have to worry financially. In today's Colombia, as long as someone has enough talent, they have the opportunity to leap up the social ladder. Even the children of pioneers, there is no way but up for the gifted. Of course, this also means that those without the qualifications already have their lives set in stone. However, at the very least, her parents truly believed that she had a much brighter future than theirs ahead of her. Dorothy went on to meet their expectations as she grew up, her excellence obvious to all those around her. Her family celebrated when she received Iron Forge Polytechnic's invitation to participate in its summer camp. Not knowing that this would be the last time they would all be together, Dorothy's mother was killed along with many of her pioneer team members when a catastrophe struck the temporary base they were in. Dorothy's father tried very hard to console his distressed daughter, but was largely unable to do so. However, when she finally emerged from her room after locking herself inside for a few days, her sorrow seemed to have largely died down. Surely, she'd already found her direction by then. That's so sad though during summer camp. Like, dang. Like, Dorothy's Oka's not as bad. Archive File 3. Overall, Operator Dorothy gets along very well with her fellow operators during her stays aboard the Rhodes Island land ship. Aside from the laboratories, Dorothy spends the most time in the ship's green rooms watching black and white films, one of her favorite pastimes. There, she sometimes runs into other operators who share the same interest. It wasn't long before she received an invitation to join the Movie Lovers Club and became part of that small community. Dorothy is kind and compassionate by nature, and very much enjoys taking care of those around her. Many of her operators have been on the receiving end of her gentle nagging. Unfortunately though, it seems she really counts herself as someone to be taken care of. So even when she's looking out for others, she's often in pretty bad shape herself. Oh, Dorothy. Well, my sorry was already at level 90. Since I didn't use her before. Those who've worked with her before at Rhine Lab have long since gotten used to how worrying she can be. Operator Jannie often proactively takes on the responsibility of caring for her, which Dorothy always seems a little embarrassed about. But sometimes she drops her big sister-like facade and opens her eyes wide like a little girl, making all kinds of tiny, inconsequential requests of Jannie. That said, based on Operator Silence's observations and reports, it's also worth pointing out that Dorothy can be somewhat biased in her viewpoints, especially when it comes to ideas like protecting everyone and making everyone happy. When these topics are brought up in conversation, she can sometimes suffer minor emotional breakdowns. This deep-rooted obsession grew out of her family situation, and is not so easy to diffuse. Archive File 4. According to Operator Dorothy herself, in contrast to company veterans such as Saria and Ferdinand, she is the Rhine Lab section director to have most recently joined the company. Originally, Rhine Lab consisted of only 9 sections. It was not until she jumped ship from a government research institute, along with her projects, that the tech company heavily supported by the Colombian government formed its Originium Art section, thus creating its 10-section structure. At Rhine Lab, Dorothy's relationship with the other section directors is not bad in general. At the very least, they're able to stay amicable enough on the surface. Even Ferdinand, generally known to be difficult to get along with, has given her plenty of assistance with her research. Although she was aware that his help came at a high price, no price was too high when she was about to achieve her dream. Voice log. Yes, I was the last one to join. Kristen, Saria, Ferdinand, and Parvis were the original members. Oh? I guess it might cause confusion. It was Kristen and Saria who started the company. Ferdinand and Parvis were the first ones to join them. Just like me, they brought their projects with them. Rhine Lab has always been taking in members like us. All of us have stable, workable projects. Kristen gave us a platform, and we gave back to the company with our results. It was Kristen who approached me back then. She understood my research and was willing to give me the support I needed. When they hired me, the project that Parvis handed to Olivia had just gone wrong. Oh? It's not as bad as it sounds. An experiment had failed, that's all. The company was in a huge mess because of Director Saria. That was the first time I saw Kristen like that. Perhaps that was when Ferdinand started coming up with his plans. As for what happened this time, Ferdinand's got his own ideas, and I'm not in a position to judge his actions when I was also involved. Parvis? Most of the time, he's very easy to talk to. He doesn't offend anyone. You could have tea with him, listen to music, and it's all fine. But Parvis is a researcher too, so is Ferdinand, so is Kristen, and so am I. Well, I really didn't want to put it this way, but... Doctor, I'm sure you know what I mean. We're so alike after all. You wonder what happened with Joyce's best friend? I know, right? Because unknown. Like, oh no. Promotion record. Both Dorothy Frank's words and actions are sincere. There's no doubt about that. Nonetheless, behind the sincerity lies the element of danger, which we must not underestimate simply because this researcher possesses a warm smile, an attentive gaze, and genuine concern for others. Even though the crisis caused by the experiment has died down and Operator Dorothy has not displayed any dangerous tendencies, we must be aware of the fact that she never has and never will stray from her purpose. She truly wishes for everyone to equally find happiness. Even during her college years, she was already paying close attention to some of Loken Williams' research. From this, we can surmise that whenever Loken gave lectures at the university, Dorothy was likely sitting there in the audience and was thus influenced by some of his ideals. In particular, her similar attitude towards experimental ethics can be seen in the recent incident. We can only guess what kind of role Rhine Lab had in the Loken water tank incident, and moreover what kind of part Dorothy herself played. However, none of our guesses are particularly optimistic. It's also worth noting that it was Operator Sarah who first expressed her opinion on Dorothy's onboarding, even though she had interacted with her the least during their time at Rhine Lab. I know people like her. Sarah reminded us, be careful. They're the kind of people who will do whatever it takes to achieve what they consider beautiful. Like, ooh, what a warning. I didn't even look if she had a record or not. I'm just like, I'm gonna get her level enough. I'm gonna get her trust up and I'm gonna do her modules. But yeah, that's time for a record. Operator records. Where is a friend's house? Friend? Dorothy Franks, I suggest you cooperate. This conversation will be recorded in its entirety. Ooh, going after Dorothy. Hey, Dorothy. Dorothy? Here at the lab?
Name.
Dorothy.
Please provide your full name. I suggest you cooperate. This conversation will be recorded in its entirety. Our next course of action hinges on the results of our investigation in conjunction with the findings of our interrogation. This will affect the fates of both you and those involved with Site 359.
Alright, I understand. My full name is Dorothy Franks. Okay, so this is her interrogation. Dorothy, come take a look, hurry. There's a giant meadow just up ahead. You can see everything from there, so let's just try to find your home. A silver house. Go, lost, see. Hey, Glossy, move your balloon out of the way a little. You're blocking the view. I already took a good look, Veggie. No silver house here. I guess my home is someplace else. Oh, that's fine. My home isn't here either. It's beautiful out here, but it's still not as nice as the wheat field back home. Glossy? What's wrong? Trying to get me to look at something? I think there's someone over there.
Good day to you all.
Good day, Mr. Volpo. You look like you're in some sort of trouble?
I can't find my home. I was arguing with my brother, and it got so bad we almost brought the house down. I ran away and vowed never to return. So I ended up here. It's so scary outside and I want to go home, but I can't.
Why not? Are you lost? If you can't find your way home, you can join us. You can join us to look for it.
Alright, I'll tag along with you kind ladies and this balloon-carrying robot. But I'm telling you, when you see my home, you'll understand why I said I could never go back. By the way, I'm not a Volpo. I'm a proud Aslan.
Interesting group of characters.
So your goal was to find your home. At the same time, help those pioneers find their own homes.
Exactly.
I came to Site 359 to find out what happened here. So I'll ask you politely not to stall my investigation with vague wording.
I'm not trying to do anything like that. I was really looking for home. If you don't mind, could I confirm one more time? All other personnel from Site 359, as well as the pioneers, they've all been relocated?
I'm under no obligation to answer your questions. Why is it you're so concerned with these pioneers? Your mother was a pioneer as well, is that correct?
Yes.
You spent your childhood with her and her fellow pioneers, is that correct?
Yes.
And your mother died in a catastrophe out in the wilderness, is that correct?
I'd rather not talk about that, sir. I'm sure you know my background well enough, but what does that have to do with your investigation?
Right, I apologize if my phrasing has upset you. My working theory goes like this. Those people must have been very important to you.
The pioneers. They wander the wilderness until they can go no further. They migrate from one end to another, like a storm with nowhere to go. They may be called pioneers, but they have no land to call their own. I want to give them a better life. As for my loved ones, I will carry on for them to return to their homes, the ones they've visited so many times in their dreams.
Go, los, see.
Here? Colossi, this is your home?
Go. Go. Seems it's trying to tell us something. Look at its hands. Do you think it's asking us to open that drawer for it?
Drawer? What could be inside? Let me see. It's a recorder?
Home. Home.
Hey, did Colossi just say a word? The robot begins to disassemble itself. The balloon that it has been holding floats to the ceiling. The robot opens its chest to reveal its core and places its heart into the recorder. The recorder gives off a voice, an elderly voice.
I am Golossi, a robot craftsman. I can't walk anymore, and I'm still a long way from home. I recorded my voice and implanted it into this body. I hope this robot can bring it back home for me. Dear stranger, if anyone hears this, please go and see for me. Find out what's become of my home. Go on, robot, carry my voice back home.
The elderly voice stops. Losi. The robot makes one final sound before reverting to a heap of cold steel. Aww. Rip to Golosi. Golosi. I know it's not your name, but I still think I should call you that. You did it. But what you've accomplished is more than just acting as a proxy to carry your master's voice to a long-lost home. This place is your home too. Mr. Lupo.
What is it? I'm not a Lupo, I'm an Aslan.
Alright, Mr. Aslan. Could you help me fetch Golosi's balloon? I want to bring its balloon with us and carry on.
Let's get back on track. In regards to your cooperation with the military, I see Ferdinand was your liaison, and your experiments appear to have been fully compliant with the law so far. Let me clarify your personal relationship, which appears to have been very close. Were you really unaware of what he was planning?
I'm sorry, but I never knew him that well.
Fair enough. We have no evidence that you knew what he was up to. Records show a pattern of assessing internal Rhine lab documents typical for a researcher.
I'm always pressed for time. I just wish my experiments could be faster and better. I don't have the luxury of exploring unrelated materials.
You say that, but what you've accomplished is still pretty incredible. No ordinary person would avoid obtaining information like that, let alone a Rhine lab director. We have reason to suspect you prepared these records to clear yourself of suspicion.
Preparing false records for a post-event investigation wouldn't help me complete my experiments faster, nor would it help the pioneers. So why would I do that?
Wouldn't you be curious about your role in his plans? Wouldn't you want to know if he saw you as a partner or a pawn?
No, that really wouldn't make a difference to me at all. My research, my vision, that's what matters to me, and it could be extraordinarily valuable to someone else. And if someone else wants to make use of my research and vision, I'm willing to make a trade.
So you're saying you don't mind being a pawn? You're not afraid of being used, of suffering damages?
By suffering damages, do you mean getting put behind bars?
That could very well happen.
Yes, I'm aware. It happened to Logan Williams. I've seen my share of scientists who have made enough mistakes for the government to abandon them. However, I do know there are quite a few people who get themselves thrown in prison just to look for Logan, to ask for his advice and assistance on their research as I once did.
Ahem, that is to say that you've made your own terrible decisions.
The road I've walked is how I managed to get a leg up on the competition. It's essentially how Columbia functions. How else could the daughter of a pioneer become a director of Rhine Lab?
Who would have thought? You even thought through these things? But you may not care if you're being used, sure. How about the pioneers? Ferdinand and the others may see you as an equal, but when it comes to the pioneers, they might as well be plastic bags littered out in the wilderness after they're no longer useful, huh?
Well, they will eventually pay their dues. Even if I can't see things through now, I will eventually. It's my responsibility after my mistakes. That was the biggest mistake I've ever made. Mr. Feline? Mr. Feline? What are you standing there for? We need to go.
I'm not a Volpal or feline. I'm an Aslan. Miss, this is the last time I'll correct you. If it happens again, you'll see the back of my sharp molars instead.
Alright, Mr. Aslan. Come along with us now.
You go on ahead. I've already found my home.
Your home? Where is it?
Look up.
An upside-down house hangs above Dorothy's head, floating in the vast sky. Dorothy finally realizes why Mr. Aslan said that he could never return home.
I made an irreversible mistake, with only my own pride to blame, and now I have left my home for good.
Mr. Aslan, there must be a way to get you back. We just have to put our heads together.
You go ahead, I'll stay here. This is the punishment I deserve.
floating in the sky. I've got it. Mr. Aslan, we still have Golos's balloon.
Balloon? You're gonna float me up with that? I'll try. I think it's working. My feet are off the ground. I just need to lose some more weight.
Oh my, Mr. Aslan, what are you doing? Is this water? Hello, hello. There's so much. Why is it coming out of your ears?
Heh heh. I gulped on all the water just to make myself look stronger.
What?
It's like my brain has been bobbing up and down in my head this whole time. Look at me. I'm flying.
The Aslan rises slowly up into the air with the balloon. He's screaming, but it is unclear if it's from panic or excitement. For just a moment, Dorothy gets a look at his back molars. They aren't sharp at all. In fact, they're round and cute. For some unknown reason, Dorothy sheds a tear.
What do you know about Kristen Wright's plans?
Nothing at all. You may not believe it, but it's the truth. I'm sorry to say I'm probably the most out-of-touch person in all of Rhine Lab.
Do you know where she might be right now?
I'm very sorry, but I really don't. All I know is that she's an idealist, and a very ambitious one. When she invited me to join Rhine, I saw the same kind of idealistic lightning bolt that I have in her.
Lightning bolt?
Boom! Dorothy's vision, you recall, being placing the minds of all Terrans into a single dreamlike collective consciousness where everyone is an equal and never feels negative emotions, making it a paradise free of strife. The hub that was connected to the consciousness, the structure is somewhat akin to the simulated universe, and Dorothy was its admin to manifest her desires. And that must be what happened, in the vision that she saw inside the hub? Until Ferdinand made it into a weapon. An unusual figure appears in the skies above Trimounts. A pillar of light pierces the sky, and the moment the truth behind the azure blue pours out only for a moment.
What is that? What's happening in the sky over Trimounts? Is it Kristen's ambitious target? Director Franks. Director, are you crying?
So that's the truth behind the sky. It's beautiful. I'm sorry, I just can't hold back my tears. I expected nothing less from Kristen. She really did it.
Director, you just said that you didn't know what Kristen's plans were.
This definitely looks like something she would do. And I'm feeling something genuine.
What are you talking about?
It's my transmitter. I can feel it through the transmitter. They've gone to the other side of the sky. The river of stars does not hide from its impulse to rush into my mind. Yeah, I guess it's happening at the same time as a lone trail.
Transmitter, huh? That sounds like the product of experiments at Site 359. I'm curious, since you're so closely linked with this creation, did exposure to it result in any negative effects?
Like a side effect?
You could put it that way.
I haven't experienced any particularly noticeable symptoms so far. If you really press me on it, I do seem to dream a lot more. Sometimes I can't tell if I'm awake or asleep, or I suddenly feel...
Feel what? Director Franks?
Oh, sorry about that. The feeling just came by again. Like I'm in a hot, arid, deserted wasteland. Hot. So hot. Veggie, slow down a little. Dorothy, I reached my stop. This place here is my home. Huh? Here? But it's so hot. Too hot for anything to ever grow. Where's the wheat field you talked about? The beautiful U-brick house? And your friend who's been waiting for you in the fields? My friend. Isn't he right next to us? Here? Oh, are you talking about this raggedy scarecrow? Yeah, it's been so long. I didn't expect it to change as much. And my home too, it's much bigger. Veggie. Why don't you come with me? You can live with me. Dorothy, you've come such a long way with us. Golossi, Mr. Aslan, and me, we all appreciate you keeping us company on our journey. But now's the time to say goodbye. But I'm just worried. It's alright, Dorothy. I decided to stay here. Even if it has changed a lot, this place is still my home. My friend, he's been here the whole time. I'll stay with him and rebuild our home together. A breeze blows and the scarecrow sways in the wind. Dorothy bids farewell to her last remaining friend. The desert spans far and wide, but where lies a silver house from her memories?
Kristen has lost her goddamn mind. Just what kind of monsters has she gathered in Rhine Lab?
Kristen, is this what you want to find? The answer to the question of home? I'm going to have to congratulate Control the next time I see her. And Parvis. It looks like he's modified my creation. Now that's interesting. But transmitter is just a transmitter, so if it's not used to sustain life, then what does it do? Wait, I suddenly thought of a possibility. Life can't survive outside star pods, but that might not be the case for a transmitter, so maybe they could take the place of humans in harsher environments, be it at the center of a catastrophe, or... This is wonderful, sir. Please give me a little time. I need to imprint this scene in my head and note on everything I'm thinking right now. There's still so much more room for improvement in my experiments, with endless possibilities for what the transmitters could become. The equality I want, the future I want, the home I long for.
What exactly is this home that you keep bringing up? You don't mean it's in the sky?
Home? What I call home, my futurescape, what does it look like? You wonder, instead of Dorothy being the only admin inside the transmitter, she would grant everyone the rights? Hence for the vision she was walking through? Maybe. Is this my house? The silver house? Dorothy, over here. That's Mama's voice. Mama, where are you? I can't find you. Dorothy, over here. Dorothy, this shouldn't be your futurescape. Futurescape? Then where should it be?
Director Franks, I'd like you to stop talking to yourself and answer my question.
Alright, I was just recalling my inspiration there. The home I'm talking about is not the one you're thinking of. What I seek is a more egalitarian, idealistic society, and it might just be right under our feet, or it could be much further away. As far away as Kristen is looking. Now that I'm thinking about it again, Kristen, Parvis, Ferdinand, and me, we Rhine Lab scientists all have our separate goals. If I'm looking for what we have in common, I might say the brilliant lightning bolt I see blazing in all of us. Dorothy notices the investigator hitting the pause button on the recorder.
Director Franks, I think I need to remind you of something. Suppose you pursue your ideals in a manner similar to that of Kristen, Ferdinand, or any of the others. What you just said might have unfortunate consequences for you.
A wind blows from an unknown direction, the scent of the wilderness. Oti.
How do you know my name?
Why not hear my story first? I once helped a pioneer by the name of Linda. She was forcibly separated from her family at a young age and abandoned in the wilderness due to her apathy. The time she spent with her family in the countryside was her most precious memory. When autumn came, that field of golden wheat, with the scarecrow swaying amidst the crops, and the brother who always tagged along behind her, running endlessly through the wheat fields.
You know my sister?
Oh dang, that was his sister?
How is she now? How has her life been?
So it really is you. Linda showed me a photo of her family. The first time I saw you, I guessed that you were her brother. She got married and even invited me to her wedding. It was a simple event out of the wastes, but she married a decent man. Hey, congratulations to her! They even have a child now. He's adorable, pestering his mother every day to hear the story of the scarecrow. She always said that her brother was her pride and joy. She was sure that the remarkable and responsible Odi would take care of the family for her.
I'm sorry, I don't even know what to say. Should I be thanking you, Director Franks?
There's no need for that, Oti. I'm telling this story not because I want something in return. I feel duty-bound to help the pioneers. I expect to keep pursuing my ideals in the same way I have, so my conscience can be clear. Please put everything I've said on the record. The only thing that should not be traded is the love and goodwill of man.
I understand, Director Franks.
He switches the recorder on. Well, that's nice ending for Veggie. The next day. You're here. You knew I would be. You're an excellent partner. I knew you would come find me if you wanted even more responsibility. Looking closer, I think you've grown again. The transmitter was indeed utilized as you expected. I should thank you for the tip. I've agreed to cooperate with the government, so I came here to retrieve the transmitter. I see. Why don't we make a trade, my good doctor?
What do you want?
Where's Kristen right now? And where is Rhinelab headed?
I don't know.
At least that was the only answer I had for a long time. For anyone about Rhinelab personnel, or any of the others. What are you planning to be asking such questions? I want to remain at Rhinelab and continue my research. Of course, it would be nice to travel around to meet other like-minded individuals, so my research could benefit even more people. I think I remember you're working with a company called Rhodes Island these days? I am. Do you think maybe Rhodes Island will be willing to collaborate with me? Everyone deserves the truth of science. I know, Olivia. This is our common dream. With you helping to keep the results of my work in the right hands, I believe that our dream will eventually be realized. Everyone has their own goals, but it's kind of nice that they're all working together in that sense. Like, look at all their progress. In my dreams. Look at all those pills. I wonder what the pills are for. Dorothy, get over here quick. A familiar figure sits in the shadow of the sand dunes. Ander, the strongest craftsman among the pioneers and the best adult friend, according to Dorothy's diary. You're setting off tomorrow, right? All packed for the summer camp? He asks with a smile. I always knew you were bright. Ever since you were small, you'll definitely manage to fly away from this tiny place in one day. Ander puts down the flask and pats her shoulder. So go, study hard, and experience everything in these lands waiting to be discovered. We'll always be proud of you. The flask topples, spilling onto the sand, and turning into a dark-colored pattern resembling a wooden tabletop. Dorothy remembers this desk from her middle school days, her closest companion in Starling's little reading room. You brat, you got a death wish or something? Snap! A middle finger flicks onto her forehead. Dorothy clutches her head, letting out a cry of pain as she takes a step back. Starling stands on the table, her arms folded. She used to be a researcher before her frontier days. They say that she would spend 8 days a week. 8 days a week? In the laboratory. 8 days a week. If it hurts, then stop burning the midnight oil. Studying is great and all, but you're not going to grow any taller if you don't get more sleep. She's pretty tall as is. She pulls Dorothy up and walks over to the small bed sandwiched between stacks of books, shoving her into it. No, get some rest. I'll wake you up when it's time. Bang. Dorothy falls into the soft bed. She does not resist, like sand caught in a storm as a scent of detergent envelops her. As she turns her quilt over, her young mother holds Dorothy in her arms. So, where were we in our story? The book is flipped into a new page. Oh right, the doctor went into the forest again. Is the doctor just like Dad? Dorothy hears her own voice. Yes, sweetie, whenever you can't find him, it's because he's out there, helping others. Dad's on the road helping the sick, just like when Starling cooked for you when I was sick. Just like when Uncle Ander built us a sturdy furniture. It's good to help people. And will always make everything better. So, I can help people too? A child's tender voice comes from her throat. Of course, my little... Her mother's voice grows distant and blurs into the point that she can no longer make out the words. Dorothy opens her eyes, and the dream fades away. She finds herself on her lunch break in a meeting room on Rose Island, and within the hourglass used for white noise, the last grain of sand falls. Aww. Yeah, Kristen must have been very magnetic. The Kristen's crazy, while others are like, damn, Kristen, you actually did it. I'm so happy for you. Like, the big difference, it's either or. Storybook. An ear-bleeding klaxon pierces the night, a girl shaking from her dream. Sand flies from about the base's entire perimeter, the storm beating violently against every door and window. Subconsciously, the girl thinks to call for her mother, but remembers none of the pioneer grown-ups are in the base right now. Out on their exploration missions, a massive boom! The roof of the temporary living quarters is battered. Malevolent yellow monsters close in. The girl cannot run, only shrink back into the corner of her bed. From deep underground, up floats a silver light that lands upon her cheek, very much like her mother's hand would. The girl hugs her mother's storybook tight. She recalls her telling tale after tale. From those gentle passages, she strives to draw some courage. The storm curls through layer upon layer of sand. Brighter grows into silver light, which transforms into a gleaming ribbon and gently lifts the girl up. Into a silver dreamland she falls. In this cool yet warming reverie, she flies on moonlight. The storm and monsters never catch up. How is she now? Vital signs normal. She's been spooked a little, but she'll be awake real soon. Do you think those waves of abnormal energy just now? Earliest Pioneer records say the silver stuff's a special material that goes by the name of transmitter. Developed by scientists who joined a Pioneer team voluntarily, Pioneers like to call it silver slippers because it always helped anyone in trouble get home. Wasn't that back when this frontier first got broken in, all those years ago? I honestly thought it was just a legend. Nope, it's real. Atop the sickbed, the girl opens her eyes. Mom. Mommy's right here. Mom? Where'd she go? The one who owned the silver slippers. Her mother is silent for a moment before resolving to tell the girl the truth. If the records are true, then she did live here, but nobody knows where she went after that. Maybe she went missing on some deep delve, or maybe she went on her own will onto the next frontier, and after that, and the one after that, even further out. Through the girl's eyes flashes a brief sense of disappointment, but very shortly, she catches the sight of the storybook by her bedside, springs up, grabbing it and hugging it close to her chest. I get it, Mom. She's the same as the hero in the storybook you gave me, right? The girl who's always journeying on? Yeah, she's my favorite. Apparently, its author was an early pioneer too, who was based on what... We can't be sure. It's real. The girl's eyes twinkle with light. She'll see her family again, and she can make the dream real because I know it. She's just like me. That's cute. Just because of Dorothy's record, I'm wondering... Maybe this could be Veggie's family. Like, that'd be adorable. Since she said Veggie got married and had a kid. And look, there's even a little robot doll. That could be, in a way, like glossy. Which would be even more adorable. Like, you go, Dorothy. That was surprisingly wholesome. And now for Moo. Mulsis. Okay, let me click on her. Steer. Mumu time. File. Basic info. Codename Mulsis. Gender female. Combat experience none. Place of birth undisclosed. Date of birth November 3rd. Race elf. Height 169 centimeters. Infection status. Medical tests have confirmed that no infection is present. Physical exam. Physical strength normal. Mobility outstanding. Physical resilience normal. Tactical acumen excellent. Combat skill excellent. Originium art simulation flawed. Profile. Mulsis, Director of Ryan Lab's Ecological Section and a leading expert on life and environmental science in Colombia. She got in touch with Rhodes Island during the Trimonts incident, after which she entered into a long-term partnership agreement with us. She now works in multiple collaborative research projects with the Bioengineering Lab, as well as participating in relevant operations as a vanguard operator. Clinical analysis. Imaging tests reveal clear normal outlines of internal organs, and no abnormal shadows have been detected. Originium granules have not been detected in the circulatory system, and there is no sign of infection. At this time, this operator is believed to be uninfected. Cell originium assimilation, 0%. Operator Mulsis shows no signs of originium infection. Blood originium crystal density, 0.015. Operator Mulsis demonstrates strong awareness of the danger and merely comes into contact with originium. Oh, a greenhouse flower. Hoheak as she passes by the medical department. Archive File 1. Mulsis is a genius scientist who has received no small amount of attention in Colombian academia in recent years. While still in her 20s, she had already emerged as one of Ryan Lab's top 10 elites, becoming its ecological section's director as well as a guest lecturer in numerous universities and Trimonts. Over the past 10 years, Mulsis and her research team have greatly propelled the development of Colombia's life and environment sciences, having made significant contributions to many fields such as ecology, genetics, phytochemistry, and plant physiology. After coming to a preliminary agreement, Rhodes Island's Bioengineering Lab and Ryan Lab's Ecological Section quickly began a series of collaborative research projects. These include conducting further studies on model organisms, model interference of the paleoecological effects of species mutation, burden beasts, originium slugs, and the environment, experiments on the modification of reproductive traits through molecular biology, etc. Subjectively speaking, one of the more notable reasons that all of these collaborative projects got off the ground so quickly is that both parties' supervisors' unique requirements for experimental environments are shocking similar. In short, simple and clean. Mulsis came to visit Rhodes Island after we extended an invitation for a visit to our bioengineering lab. The moment she stepped into the laboratory, she exclaimed, "So refreshing!" The next moment, when hit by a stream of air from the air filtration system, her body burst into bubbles, while still brandishing a genuine smile, causing even Wheaty's eyes to light up. Although the reason Mulsis tends to work in environments with low concentrations of originium is fundamentally different from Wheaty's mysophobia, they nonetheless share extremely high standards for their laboratory's filtration systems. Naturally, the two of them hit it off right away. With such a great start, it's no wonder they followed it up with so many collaborative projects. This is Rhodes Island's second partnership with Ryan Lab, with a Ryan Lab director. The first being Miss Dorothy Franks. This goes to show that our two companies' relationship is growing deeper by the day. With a future hardly so optimistic, this is beneficial to both companies' continued existence and development. Archive File 2. Some of the operators who returned to the landship from Colombia noted that Mulsis is very passionate when it comes to providing assistance to Rhodes Island personnel. Aside from the necessary supporting documents and assurances, she also gave everyone a thick guidebook covering a variety of topics, including holiday clubs worth experiencing, fashion shows worth a visit, must-buy fashion accessories, Rankwood film lots, and award ceremonies to check out. Interesting books. While browsing social media on the Tri-Mounts Intercity Net, a certain operator well familiar in the ways of the detective even discovered Muelsis' anonymous account. In just a year and a half, she made lots of posts and reviews on subjects like fashion, games, and photography. Her comments were thorough and her criticisms harsh, making her reviews very helpful, as can be seen from the large number of views she's amassed. One of the operators who participated in the bioengineering lab's collaborative projects also excitedly shared with us his experiences. Once, during the 30-minute wait for an experiment's outcome, Muelsis stared intently at the terminal before her. She was frowning as she held tightly onto the side used in the experiment that was to be disposed of, and there seemed to be nothing but worry in her eyes. He thought that perhaps something had gone wrong with the experiment and decided to take a peek at the screen, only to find her checking out prices on a certain second-hand luxury goods trading platform. Muelsis and multitasking. I'm buying these things with my hard-earned cash. I feel just awful if they ever went down in price. Director Muelsis explained. Also, she trains every single day. She jogs 15 laps around the vivarium every day. Very strangely self-disciplined. Some researchers even suspect that it's her clone that's doing the jogging, not her in the flesh. And on days when she doesn't have anything scheduled, she even organizes hiking trips. Hard to imagine, huh? Dang, girl. That's because I get sick easily. Training doesn't help me any with my allergies, but it can at least make you relax. Director Muelsis explains. It helps you relax? Really? 15 laps, a hike. Wow. I mean, how do I do it? First impressions can be quite deceiving, you know? I mean, how do I put it? But Muelsis is someone who's really living her life to the fullest. Dang, girl. Archive File 3. Muelsis is one of Ryan Lab's most long-standing members. At the time of its inception, she had yet to graduate from college, while Kristen and Sarah were running hither and thither to obtain investment for their projects. Although nothing was certain yet, the name Ryan had already appeared in the proposals numerous times. Thanks to a connection through a teacher, Muelsis came into contact with the two. According to Muelsis herself, she has always been the one to naturally pull the team together. Ever since its founding, she'd scheduled some gatherings and parties between all the experiments, as well as liven up the atmosphere when others were arguing. Rather than a singular company, the 5 scientific research sections of Ryan Lab are often more like a loose union of companies, each with their own ambitions, making Muelsis' actions seem particularly naive. Voice log. My instructor wasn't too interested in the second investment project, so I went at her place. What a coincidence, though. That night, I heard from a friend from Trenton that they were going to tear down the orphanage in the town. I told you before, but that's where I spent my childhood. It's where I realized what's special about me, and where I began my fruitless pursuit. I wanted to go back and take a look, but I still went to the venture capital fair. I didn't even know what I was supposed to reminisce about. Looking back, it was all a haze, and there was no point in wallowing in self-pity. That's why I had to keep finding my way forward. And just as I wanted, I came to know Kristen and Saria. ... Right, my research with Nasty has made an important breakthrough. But we ran into a much more important bottleneck, both theoretically and technologically. That city was still just a hazy image. As a project, it's nothing but a wild fantasy. The Galeria Stilfaria's data may be valuable, but far from enough to be used as its cornerstone. Give up? Yeah, this is quite a headache for me and Nasty. But bottlenecks in the scientific context are nodes that can undergo rapid, qualitative change. Kristen has already proven that we can touch the sky, and we can do more than that. Ryan Lab can do much, much more. From what we can recall, her biology is a water elf. It's very fragile. When she comes into contact with originium, if she ever got infected, her body would just deteriorate so fast. Yeah, she has to be super careful. You've got that right, but reminiscing or stopping fights. I'll keep on doing what I've always done, even if nobody cares. Though I guess it's not exactly nobody. Archive File 4, in many ways, Muses' outstanding research results are thanks to her sharp and unique perspective. Many see this as a talent, but a few are aware that, to Muses, this is her innate nature. It's very difficult for her to see everything from the so-called normal perspective. When she noticed your skepticism, Muses calmly gave the following explanation. She picked up the potted plant from your desk, placed it on the coffee table, then asked you to describe to her what it was. A plant with a proper scientific name, green leaves, white flowers, pleasing growth. It has just been watered. Its soil is moist. That was your response. It was a thoroughly detailed description of the potted plant, an amalgamation of frequently used terminology, and it was hardly different from the kind of responses Muses would often get. Next, she gave a description of the plant she saw. Firstly, she used the pronouns she and her. She was very healthy. Her entire body circulation was very stable. Although there was a leaf with the tip that clogged up a little, it was likely going to yellow soon. She wasn't very happy. Her roots were almost touching the bottom of the pot, but she still wanted to grow. One of the ways that she had been voicing her complaint was by scattering pollen onto your hand. Her ancestors lived in a lush forest in a faraway place. Alphalbes excreted her ancestors' seeds while flying over the nomadic city, and thus the seeds began to spread throughout the city. Muses' description contained details far beyond what can be perceived by mere observation, as well as information amalgamated from what she perceived through multiple sensory receptors. Finally, she also went into some unreal, epoch-transcending, pedantic information. She seemed very excited. You noticed there was a brief moment after she realized her words could not bear the weight of all this information, that she wanted to hold your hand and share something with you. A hazy consciousness began to form in your brain about the flower pot before you, about her, but it did not last very long. Perhaps it would be more appropriate to say it only lasted an instant. Muses instinctively withdrew that odd information transfer. He realized that she must have attempted to build relationships with others in this manner, but not even a genius like Kristen could have sensed any of it, for it is a barrier that cannot be surmounted by other races. It is a source of her loneliness. She cannot share everything she sees with others in its entirety. And so you tried to describe what she felt with words. She looked surprised, stony, at a loss. Then she took your hand. It was an invitation. She yearned to share with you the lands, and you agreed. Aww. That's nice. She's like, wow, someone that can actually sense what I was trying to do. Promotion record. Bavarian plants observation logs. 009. Snow pitcher grasses. Amount 17. Origin. Trenton Trimonts. Remarks. Normal growth. 046. Square sunflowers. Amount 8. Origin. A certain tribe from the forest in central Sami. Remarks. This type of plant originated from a cold region of Sami that sees little rain. They favor sunlight, and their square corollae always face the sun's direction as their rhizomes continue to grow upward. After they were transplanted to the vivarium, their corollae began to droop. This is much more pronounced this week. They seem dispirited, but based on the latest examination report, although this behavior may look like the plants have not grown used to their new environment, it is actually because the sunflowers have developed hydrophilicity. They're trying to reach closer to the moist soil around them. 119. Pale furs. Amount 10. Origin. Beep. Remarks. The roots of two mature trees have developed a thick, soft layer of fungus. Examination shows that this layer of lichenized fungus grew not because of the human environment. Instead, it has accurately developed the rotting roots. The damaged fiber structures are slowly but clearly recovering. The fungus is like a scab covering the wounds ahead of time, helping the furs heal themselves. Right. It's a rare tree to start with. We moved them into the vivarium hoping to improve the species' conservation status, but this is not very effective. But what a pleasant surprise it was to see them undergo such fundamental change. If it wasn't for you, they would have all drowned. They all would have drowned. April showers. So let me take a sip of my drink, my vitamin water. Yummy. Must be good about hydration at home, since I'm bad about hydration at work. Teehee. Okay, we already went through that one. Perfect then. Then to the modules. Yum. Okay. Let me cap my bottle, put it back on my bed. And now for our dresser flowing sheep. Wow, look at all the stuff. The makeup brushes, perfumes. So fancy. In the early morning, long before the staff of the ecological section have come to work, a figure strolls into the vivarium. The vents have just opened, and the entire place quickly fills with mist. The figure remains at ease, briskly skipping about from plant to plant, occasionally tapping at the terminal on her chest before drifting to the next. After a full round, she chucks her terminal into a meeting room with a resounding clack that fades away into nothingness. Based on Moon's files, you recall the vivarium that Kristen and Mumu made for the Stellaria. Kristen's ship, the vivarium alongside Musa's, should be with her. But at the last moment, Kristen separated that part from the ship alongside Mumu in it. Yeah, I think that could be considered Kristen's legacy in a way. And a nice present. Say thank you, friend. Here you go. By the break of dawn, a line is already forming before a Tri-Mounts bakery. The most researchers care about meals only insofar as they fill stomachs and provide nutrition. Inevitably, a few would prefer to savor their food and drink. She is also in that line, hoping for freshly baked bread and especially this bakery's salt crust loaves. She glances at the queue in front of her, then at the big clock across the street. She then calculates how much longer it would take to have her fill of delicious bread. I still need bread. Miosa sits at the dresser, looking at her dresser flowing shape while combing her hair. She has an ecological internal meeting to attend in half an hour, but there's nearly not a hint of worry in her face. Her dresser flowing shape acts as a mirror and follows along with her movements. Occasionally, it decides to be a bit impish and changes its posture. To the consternation of its master, she tries to put on her makeup. Bread sounds so good right now. My house has no bread. After tying up her hair for the day and putting on whatever jewelry she feels like, Nielsen flings her chapstick into her pocket before giving a wave to her dresser flowing shape, which reverts to a fountain. Upon opening the door to her room, she sees some bread atop the table, along with a salad and some water. She enters ecological. A gaggle of researchers surrounds her. As she walks towards the meeting room, newcomers are amazed that the director doesn't even need to glance at her notes before immediately going into presentation mode. While veterans have long since gotten used to this. After all, she is their director. Predicting her actions is like trying to catch the wind. As such, almost none of them could imagine that at this very moment, she's in the vivarium looking at the dewdrop from the tip of a leaf. She's by the fountain in the city park feeding the foul beasts. She's in the fountain on her dresser, where she continues to sleep. She is. I'm here drinking coffee with you aboard Rhodes Island. Pretty amazing, right? After seeing Eustace cross her arms and lift her head with pride, you hurriedly agree. You've seen her impressive abilities up close. Although you've noticed a few oddities in the small details, you've seen her press the wrong button on her terminal, forcing the vivarium staff to take cover from a sudden rain. You've seen her curiously take a bite of the feed in the park while feeding the foul beasts. Yummy bird food. You've even seen her draw an arc across her chin with chapstick. Skilled technicians controlling multiple terminals are bound to make mistakes, so it's only natural that Muses would have trouble with multiple dresser flowing shapes, right? But when you recall the sight of her stirring the air above her coffee cup, you can't help but laugh. As a result, and rightfully so, you suffer a 1-2 punch from Muses' dresser flowing shape. Ouch. Worth it. Fallen Leaves of 4 Seasons. Carrying a cute umbrella is the best way to start a conversation. People ask about your leaf umbrella, turn the topic to themselves, sigh about how the seasons change and how the spring will eventually come. They always skip winter, and end the conversation on a positive note. Finally, you enjoy a dance with them. The dance is mandatory for new meetings. Many relationships begin with a dance, and Muses never misses the opportunity for one. But does she really need these opportunities from those so-called networking sessions? The question is like a stone failing to skip across a pond. It falls into the water with a dull splash and sinks for eternity. She changes one dance partner for another, and then another, her steps growing ever more graceful. Muses once thought she could master every dance there was. She also once thought that she had many friends by her side, until Kristen and Saria showed up. The silent stone beneath the water became a pea under her mattress. Hidden for so long, it finally got to shout out loud, "Hey? Was it really what's been happening? Subvert your own expectations and see what's true or false. It's time for fate to bring you some real like-minded people." It was a meeting arranged by her supervisor, with only 2 other people from a small laboratory. We all know how it ended. The lab of 2 became a lab of 3, and she was the first to join. Boom, Rhine Lab was founded. No, this isn't right. She just finished writing her final thesis and had gone without a night of proper sleep for 2 weeks. She slumped over the table. We should try this method first. It has a higher chance of success. This is why it's good to have a group of 3. Let's take a vote. Kristen from the other side of the table takes another sip of coffee. Dark circles around her eyes. Saria nods silently. So hands up if you agree with Plan A. Kristen raises her hand and so does Saria. A frown slides onto Muses' wary face. Hands up if you're Plan B. She raises her hand, her lonely arms standing aloft. Immediately after, amid the sound of water, another hand raises, followed by a second and a third. The identical water clones look at their 2 companions, and the elf grins. Hehe. 2 to 4, how about that? It's not fair. 4 to 2, fair enough, no? This Muses, that Muses, and that Muses are all members of Rhine Lab. They have the right to vote too. Wow! Dang, Moo. A reasonable point. A group of reasonable friends. Seems strange, but this is how those from Rhine Lab joke around. As for what came next, how the victorious water clones cheered in unison and spilled coffee into Kristen's beautiful trench coat. We'll get back to that next time. Amidst the shrieks and sorries, Muses hears something, a quiet, subtle, moist sound. A sprout emerging from the soil. It was that pea. It had found the soil. It began to take root and sprout. The seasons change and spring will always come. Gosh darn it, Muses. And now for Saria. Hello, Saria. And yes, I'm keeping her in her prison warden outfit because it's funny. File. Basic info. Codename Saria. Gender female. Combat experience 5 years. Place of birth Colombia. Date of birth April 23rd. Race Voiver. Height 174 centimeters. Infection status. Medical tests have confirmed that no infection is present. Physical exam. Physical strength excellent. Mobility normal. Physical resilience excellent. Tactical acumen excellent. Combat skill excellent. Originium assimilation outstanding. She was looking for a place, a feeling of family, a feeling of a place where you belong. Rhine is a place for fevered dreamers to chase their desires, but nonetheless, she still seeks it. Through Saria and Kristen. And you feel like you only intensified after Lone Trail. At least now she has the Doctor and the others in Rose Island. Profile. Saria was once a director of the Ryan Lab Defense Division. She has made contributions to the fields of life science, microbiology, and origami arts. At the same time, she's also proven herself formidable when it comes to demolition, protection, and anomaly containment missions. Currently, she's working with Rhodes Island in various scientific fields and is negotiating a more in-depth cooperation plan with them. Clinical analysis. Clinical analysis or imaging tests reveal clear, normal outlines of internal organs, and no abnormal shadows have been detected. Originium granules have not been detected in the circulatory system, and there's no sign of infection. At this time, this operator is believed to be non-infected. Stellar originium infusion rate 0%. Operator shows no sign of infection. Blood crystal density 0.11. Operator suspects there's a way to protect yourself from infection. Or to protect oneself from infection. Though this operator has frequently come into contact with originium in the course of her work, her indicators remain very low. Saria was my co-worker at Ryan Lab. She is authoritative in the field of medical treatment, but did not become a medic operator. My guess is this is due to her lack of bedside manner. Just kidding. Medic operator Telopsis. Your physical status file? I mean, we saw these ones at the top. Oh, physical exam? I'm not sure. I don't think so. Wait, what? Oh wait, that one? Yeah, we did. The physical exam, that part. For the excellent, normal, excellent, outstanding. Like the super duper good physical exam. Physical strength, excellent. Mobility, normal. Physical resilience, excellent. Tactical acumen, excellent. Combat skill, excellent. Originium assimilation, outstanding. Everything else, excellent. She built different. Archive File 1. Originium Arts Assessment. Lady Saria has explained in detail the theory behind her Originium Arts, decaster and medic operators. The specifics of the theory are cryptic and complicated, but in a nutshell, aside from normal Originium Arts, Lady Saria is also capable of freely manipulating the calcium and chemical compounds in a circular area around her. Combining her erudite medical knowledge and capabilities, she is quite able to meet what's required of her. Whether it's using her Originium Arts to block and weaken the enemy, or using her weapon to protect her teammates. As Lady Saria herself says, the strength of Originium Arts lies not in how you use them, but the purpose you use them for. Archive File 2. Lady Saria was once the leader of Ryan Lab's Defense Division. Lady Saria's shield also functions as her staff. In most cases, she finds enemies not worth using her Originium Arts on. And a few Rhodes Island operators have said, Lady Saria is one of our few strategic operators. On the one hand, she uses her medical knowledge and equipment to heal her teammates on the battlefield. On the other hand, with her extraordinary fighting skills, Lady Saria can easily use her shield to break apart her enemies, causing them to lose their will to fight and even destroying their equipment. More importantly, Lady Saria is equally accomplished when it comes to commanding the battlefield. Although the plans her team implements are heavily biased towards defense, one can be sure that when Lady Saria is involved, the team will suffer very few casualties. When Lady Saria raises her shield, she's not only protecting the operator standing behind her, she's protecting the whole team. Of course, many operators feel that if Lady Saria abandoned her shield and syringe and used both her fists to fight, she'd be stronger than she is now, or at the very least more destructive. You don't want to know what kinds of demonstrations she used to train the team. I love how they refer to her as Lady Saria. Archive File 3. The relationship between Lady Saria and Ryan Lab is very complicated. Sorry, this might be the simplest Demaster. Her arts calcium solidification. Calcium's what the bones are made of. And then further solidified by her mastery. Yeah, she can become extra buff. Though all of Rhine Lab operators who work with Rhodes Island show some amount of respect for Lady Saria, Rhine Lab's medic operator Silence shows nothing but hatred for her. At the same time, Lady Saria appears unsurprised by Silence's feelings toward her. Whenever Lady Saria attempts to talk with caster operator Ifrit, Silence gets in the way. According to available information, the animosity between Saria and Silence stems from an experiment at Rhine Lab led by Silence. The experiment was an unfortunate failure. Lady Saria acted alone in suppressing the experimental materials that had gotten out of control. Similarly, because of this experiment's mishaps, Lady Saria left Rhine Lab. It is not known why she chose to cooperate with Rhodes Island after leaving Rhine Lab. Archive File 4, Classified Log. I've already spoken with her about her reasons for working with Rhodes Island. She had no reservations about speaking bluntly, as if on the offensive. Saria is worried about Ifrit's continued growth and development. She candidly said that if the situation is not properly controlled, the results will not only destroy Rhodes Island, but will also set off other catastrophes. She said that the upper echelon of Rhine Lab is covering up the truth and that Silence is completely in the dark about all this. I expressed to her that we will continue monitoring Ifrit's infection, and that we will invite Saria to strengthen her cooperation with Rhodes Island on the condition that she will sever all her political relationships. Rhodes Island still needs to draw upon Saria's power to solve some problems, namely problems with some other Rhine Lab operators. Also, we need to get ready to confront some operators behind the scenes. Saria and I both agree on this. We must be careful when dealing with the Rhine Lab issue. Amia should be wary of some of the involved players' political inclinations. Kelsey. Promotion record. You wonder since Saria is now Ifrit's acting guardian instead of Silence, she's busy. I feel like she probably lives mainly in Rhodes Island. Since Ifrit has friends there. Also, Ifrit gets to be the leader of submissions, right? So of course she wants to strut her stuff. Promotion record. Rhodes Island admits that Lady Saria is personally quite strong. However, she's not let the strength get the better of her. She is doing her duty and stalwartly defending her teammates with her shield and her originating arts. However, many operators have raised the question, if Lady Saria is so powerful, why does she insist on using her shield and auxiliary originating arts to assist the team rather than releasing her own power and launching devastating attacks on the enemy directly? Lady Saria has not answered this question. On the contrary, she will chide and discipline other operators. Strength is not the essence of combat. Strength should not be used hastily. In the midst of the tempest, only those on guard stay standing. Fertile soil. Will Saria usher in a new era for Rhine? That is the question. Oh gosh, if we had an altar of her being offense instead of defense, ooh, she'd hit so hard. And that would be amazing. Heave ho. Heave ho.
Helen? I thought you said you might be leaving. Did you come to pack your stuff?
Yeah, I mean, no. Miss Jara gave me a month of PTO. I thought that was her way of telling me to resign. Turns out she was retiring. She took me out for dinner before she left and said that she hoped that I would continue to work for Rhine.
That's great to hear. So the Pantry Alliance lives?
You know, I kind of wish they'd just fire me.
Why? Yeah, why? Wait, today's Saria's first day of her new position, right? Are you still the control secretary?
Yeah. I get back to work after lunch break.
Haha, I see. I guess Miss Jara really trusted you, didn't she?
No idea. All I know is that I could count the total number of times I saw Kristen in the office. All these years with my 2 hands. I end up hearing about most things on the news first. The same goes for this changing of the guard. I don't even know what happened. Sometimes I can't help but think, am I actually working for Ryan Lab?
Of course you are. You know how many trees there are in the lobby, how many lights there are on the ceiling, how many desks there are on each floor. That's exclusive insider info.
Look, I'm being serious.
Sorry, just a little joke. Anyway, weren't you complaining that you had nothing to do when you were Kristen's secretary? You know Saria's reputation as a thing-doer. You won't be bored when you're around her.
I also have a reputation for being difficult. Why do you think I'm standing here?
Huh? Oh yeah, this way leads to the defense section, doesn't it?
Saria wants to use the office of the defense section director as a new controls office. Apparently, my first job is to convince the new control to move her office.
Well, I'll wait for the good news.
You're just waiting to laugh at me, aren't you?
Hey, no one's ever won a battle against Saria in the history of Ryan Lab. You'll be famous if you're the first one.
Oh, screw you! Guess I'll go now to meet my fate. Good afternoon, Control. My name is Helen. Mail-owner requests permission to intervene in the investigation of the Hall of Stasis.
Have we completed investigation and recovery efforts?
Yes, all relevant assets have been entered into the database.
Then give Melander the necessary permissions.
Yes, ma'am. Did you need something, Control?
I've reviewed the ongoing and pending projects in each section. Bring me a detailed report on the marked items, including staffing, revenue, and expenditure. I sent you the link.
All projects associated with tri-mounts. I see, I'm on it. The quarterly report of the structural section is ready, ma'am. We would like to request early approval for additional budgeting of Project 3 for the current quarter.
I've looked at the request. Looks fine overall. Approved.
Things are quite chaotic following the loss of Director Parvis, so we were able to come up with the funds immediately.
Freeze the assets of Project 2 and use it for Project 3.
But
I reviewed the progress report and data in Project 2. They're unsatisfactory. Inform the director of Project 2 that I'll be auditing it personally.
Understood. District officials would like to discuss our pilot qualifications and ongoing experiments in certain fields. I feel like Saria is using she's currently doing the job the secretary could be doing too right now. Yo, Helen, you know you want to join in right now. District officials would like to discuss our pilot qualifications and ongoing experiments in certain fields.
Make an appointment for tomorrow. I'll oversee the discussion. Make sure the relevant directors are present and inform the officials of the time.
Yes, ma'am. She's dealing with all these requests simultaneously, efficiently. She doesn't even notice me. Oh dear, Helen, what should you do? An appointment request from Mr. Justin Jr.? Remarks, a young man with potential?
Say, young man. Good afternoon, Control. My name is... Justin Jr. mentioned it. Skyjagger. A future star. He's exaggerating. Of course, Justin Jr. sees more future stars than there are stars in the night sky over Tri-Mounts. I understand, I'm not arrogant enough to think I'm more special than anyone else. But I promise that I... Did Justin Jr. tell you about my rules? Huh? At least he knows the meaning of confidentiality. Put on your protective gear and gloves.
Saria points towards the boxing ring in the corner of the office.
Huh?
Huh?
You want Ryan Lab to invest in your passion project. Last few minutes in the ring.
Oh my goodness, this is a test.
Yes. If this is your way of interviewing people, I've got no reason to decline. If you're just being an a-hole, then all the more reason for me to make you realize that you're messing with the wrong guy.
God, this guy's completely clueless. Saria's toughness is a stuff of legend. Why would she...
Frankly, this is easier. For a long time, I eavesdropped on TIT classes by day and fought hoodlums in the slums by night.
What is this? Saria and Sky put on gloves and enter the ring. A fiery bout ensues. Helen watches on blankly. A violent clash beyond her comprehension is unfolding in the old office of Ryan Lab's new control. Is this how she intends to decide the fate of a young man? Well, congratulations on becoming Saria's secretary, Helen. This is great. I like this. Once again, Helen is sure that she never knew Ryan, even after all these years. This is good stress relief for Saria. 57 seconds. 1 minute, 32 seconds.
Stop.
The boxing stops, Sky's on the floor on one knee, and the entire side of his face swollen. I love this.
Arg, my face, my shoulder! You were holding back, weren't you? You hardly broke a sweat. You lost. Ryan Lab would not invest in your project. Because of my educational background, your file shows that you completed all coursework for the degree in engineering science, despite never being officially enrolled in the Trimount's Institute of Technology. Not the most scrupulous of methods, but your grades were strong. We're fellow alumni in a sense. Ryan Lab welcomes everyone who respects science. Then why? I read your proposal on the development of impact-resistant aviation materials last night. It's an area with great potential. You're sharp, but you lack an adequate grasp of the project's foundation, and many of your ideas are impractical. Then why not just reject me? You've got a strong constitution and a chip on your shoulder. You have everything a scientist needs outside of professional skills. What you need now is experience with real research projects and learn how they are built, brick by brick. Are you interested in joining the Ryan Lab engineering section, Skyjagger? Thank you.
Recruited? She literally beat some sense into him.
Let me guess, energy? Engineering. Nasi won't like him, or should I say, they won't like each other. Nasi might be able to teach him some things. Satisfied? With what? Control? He's underqualified and you know it. I take it you recommended him as a reminder to me. Hehe, what I didn't tell you is that Sky is a super fan of Kristen's. He decided to commit himself to science and join Ryan Lab because he saw the sky that night. Then I'm glad he didn't try to earn sympathy points by telling the story. That wasn't what caught my attention. Don't you think he's exactly what Ryan needs in this new era? Ryan has gone through dramatic changes and will continue to face new challenges. We do need talent. But I must remind you of one thing. What is it? There is no new era. There are people with knowledge but no formal education in every era. They're the kind of people that science needs. But it's only now that they'll get their chance. If you don't mind me asking, how do you plan on dealing with Ferdinand? I don't have any plans. He doesn't need me to worry about him. If he gets himself out and wants to come back to Ryan, tell him that he needs to get in my ring before he can get back to his desk. I'll let him wear his power armor, of course. Hey, I'll tell him.
What's she doing? A shower now? For some reason, Helen feels like a great weight has been lifted off her shoulders the moment Saria walks into the shower room. She slumps on the sofa. Helen had worked under Jar for years before joining Ryan Lab. She quickly took to the energy and vitality of Ryan Lab after joining at Jar's invitation. She was a hard worker, a workaholic even. She even earned a degree in energy science so that she could work more effectively at Ryan Lab. Her efforts earned her a promotion to the post of the control secretary. Little did she know that this would be the beginning of a nightmare. Helen had little opportunity to do actual work under the elusive Kristen. Not only that, from the perspective of someone who has at least tried to participate, Helen knows full well. Kristen was a genius. She fully understood everything that was going on at Rhine Lab. She just didn't care about most of it. The thought tormented Helen. She found it hard to accept that the leader of the company she loved so much did not love what she had created. Anyone else would have perceived Saria's attitude as being the polar opposite of Kristen's, but somehow I have the feeling that they're very alike in a way. Wait, Saria just turned down all upcoming appointment requests at your terminal and pushed back all meeting requests and document reviews by 1 hour? Is she taking a break? She sees Saria walk up to the other side of the ring, where there is a window and a table with a shelf next to them that has various potted plants lying on it. Saria takes out an empty pot on the shelf and lays it on the table. Helen is surprised to see something grow beneath Saria's palm from the black gravel. A shoot. So delicate. It seems to be crafted from jade, rises from the dirt, followed by a second and a third. They grew upwards rapidly, intertwined with each other, as though a great sculptor is creating life out of a rock with a chisel of time. The white plant-like frame is completed within a few minutes, standing quietly in the pot, approximately 30 centimeters tall. Dang, Saria. Its branches are stark and strong, but it's composed of jade-like calcareous substance with a delicate tree ring-like texture on the surface. Did she just create a tree with her powers? Are the other plants her works too? It seems the office has suddenly fallen silent. Of course, the office has not been particularly noisy since she came in at noon. Now though, it feels as if there's something in the air preventing her from speaking. It is a familiar feeling. I feel like Saria's work right now is more like... she's more like human resources. Hello. She once shadowed Kristen, hoping to find out what the control is doing when she's out of office. She found out that Kristen had gone to the rooftop of the Rhine Lab HQ building, staring at the sky for 2 full hours. Dang. 2 hours of stare. Right now, Saria gives Helen the same feeling that Kristen once did. Though they had what some might say were the greatest things on Terra. It is only in this moment that they truly belong to themselves. Fascinating, isn't it? We were surprised when we learned about Saria's hobby of making these calcified plants. Director Franks, when did you... Shh, don't disturb Saria. Oh, okay, why did you... You used to be Kristen's secretary, right? Yes. I came to calibrate the equipment for her before I leave. You should learn to do it. It could come in handy. Okay. The fitness corner and shower were designed by Nasty at Saria's request. Saria hasn't been back into his office in a while. Fortunately, all the data collection was done on Rhodes Island, which saved some effort. Wait, did you say leave? Oh, it's not what you think. I'm going on a business trip to the frontiers for a while, so I wanted to get certain things out of the way before I go. What's on your mind? I know Kristen wasn't as indifferent as people outside thought she was. Saria's work attitude is the polar opposite of Kristen's, but I feel like I see the same thing in both of them. What is it? Their work, or should I say Rhine Lab, is not actually that important to them. Very astute. What exactly is Rhine Lab to them? I'm sorry, I shouldn't have asked. There was a meeting of section directors in the aftermath of the Galleria Stellaria incident. At that meeting, Saria said, Kristen is not the embodiment of greatness. She's a flawed human being, just like the rest of us. But she opened a door, and the light of greatness shines from beyond the door. Why shouldn't greatness be the ideal? Because an ideal is a dream that can save everyone, while greatness is not. It is cold and hard, often oppressive, but it's the fate of a scientist to be drawn by such a light, and Saria is no exception. What were you drawn to, Helen? Helen looks up. The sun shines through the window on Saria, who is fully focused on her plant, as though there is nothing that can disturb her. The scene is a strange one, yet somehow holy at the same time. I hate to admit it, but I guess it's not the light that I was drawn to, but the people who were drawn to the light. Is it not enough? I suppose it is. Phew. Saria, I've calibrated your equipment based on the Rose Island figures. Thanks. The paperwork is in order. Just consider it an extended business trip. Anything you need, Ryan can provide. No problem. The Site 359 matter settled, and I resumed work in the Originium Art section. You know, it doesn't really matter to me where I do my experiments. Oh? Amusa stopped me in the corridors with tears on her face. She complained that she's doing too many goodbyes lately and insisted on seeing me off personally. She's been touchy lately. A bit of sentimentality isn't a bad thing in times like these. That's not something I would expect you to say. Don't you know? I've always been a sentimental girl. It's true that I don't know you that well. Of all the directors, we've worked with each other the least. That will change. How are you planning to change Ryan Labs, Saria? I'm not the one changing it. It would change on its own, in whatever way it chooses. My job is to just keep it going. You know, maybe I was wrong about you. What do you mean? I thought you saw freedom as Kristen's special privilege, but the truth is, you allow everyone other than yourself to have freedom, don't you? I'm not that great. Neither was Kristen. Bye, Saria. This time, you have all my experiment data. Good. See you. Oh, and I think your secretary has some questions. Don't forget about her. Pay no mind to what Director Frank said. I don't actually have anything to ask. I don't suppose you even know my name. Helen, I remember. Huh? You were with Kristen when she came to find me a few years ago. Jar told me about you too. She believes that you're up to the job of supporting me. But I haven't been able to help at all. I could deal with today's things on my own, but I've been away from Ryan Lab for a while, and there are many things about Ryan Lab that I don't know as well as you do. I'll be counting on you. I'm sorry, Saria, but for what I saw today, I can't imagine the day that you'll be counting on me. It'll be an honor to work for you. What was it that you want to ask? Well, I had a question, but it's not important now. I was going to ask why you want to keep using this office instead of moving into the controls office. You found the answer? I thought maybe you're honoring Kristen. Or maybe you wanted to make it clear to others that you're going to do things differently from Kristen. But now I suspect it's not so complicated after all. Correct. I didn't want to move my office because everything in this office was tailor-made for me. Make sense? I'm not used to Kristen's office, and I'm not as comfortable there. It's that simple. Yeah, I don't suppose there's another office in Ryan Lab with a boxing ring and shower. Legit. Break's over. Let's get to work. Yes, ma'am. Sorry, just wants to support the business. Or supports everyone. She just wants to support Ryan Lab. Like, nothing wrong with that. She's gone full support mode. Oops, I clicked out accidentally. Ooh, sure. And now for the unused boxing gloves. For Helen, she was drawn to those who were following the light, not the light itself, and for us, just like Helen in a way, drawn to Kristen, specifically the sight of her chasing the light. It was not because it was beautiful, not Or was it inspirational, but... Yeah, we just couldn't take our eyes away from her. Where's these gloves? Are these the gloves? These look painful. Saria stared at the old gloves before her. They'd originally been locked away in the closet in the Director of Defense's office, Ryan Lab HQ. Her departure has been too rushed to take nearly any personal items, and they should have cleaned out her office long ago. So I saved these. Why send them to Rose Island, and why now? A few days ago, at the intervention of the Mainlander Foundation, construction ceased on dozens of unlawful experiment sites. Certain people had bribed officials in the Municipal Planning Department to circumvent the necessary auditing procedures and use fabricated plans to deceive the Ethics Review Committee. Business as usual, Saria had spent months on the move to find evidence of their illegal dealings. Fortunately, she'd gotten a hold of Anthony Simon, along with his sources. Ultimately, over half of the test sites shut down and had belonged to Ryan Lab. Maybe that was why these boxing gloves turned up now. A warning, or even a reminder. They were hardly the first boxing gloves she'd ever owned. Those would be the ones her father gave her, clearly unfit for a child, which always shaved her skin to the point of bleeding. Thanks, Dad. But she persisted and did as her father told her, pounding her weaknesses into the sandbag, along with all of her impractical emotions, punch by punch. Dang, Dad. Others had minds filled with openings, so one moment of complete disarray was all she needed to shatter their defensive line in a single punch. Saria was never as enamored with fighting as so many other boxers were, for her skills was simply a means to survive until now. Unconsciously, her fingers read the rigid words along the back of the gloves. Trimount's Institute of Technology. She'd once taken part in an intercollegiate tournament with these. She spent many a night in the boxing club back then, always with a +1 tagging along. That certain someone wasn't a fan of the sport, nor was she interested in the tournament, but hung around simply because varying your environment prevents your mind from getting stuck in certain lines of thought. She wasn't joking. Not much later, she proposed the concept of a hand-mounted exoskeletal operating system based on the observation of Saria's own movements. That system was still in use to this day in the office of Ryan Lab's control. Though they hadn't seen use in so many years, the gloves looked as snug as ever. Saria barely nearly put her hands in them, but a slight ache from beneath her shoulder blades held her back. Apparently, a call to adjust the dosage of her painkillers. The mercenaries outnumbered her in the last investigation, after all. A whole platoon against one. Ma'am, Lady Saria. It meant that she was gradually getting close to the truth. And a few minutes later, Saria let go of the gloves, stowing them in the lowest drawer of her temporary desk, and once again picked up Ifrit's latest physical report. Like, sheesh. Technology Rising Star Award. Saria is truly brains and brawn. Like, you go, girl. And she's also very calm. Technology Rising Star Award. The proof underpinning the paper derives from a veritable ocean of experimental data. The sheer quantity of fungi and cellular strains engineered and nurtured is on par with that invested in by national-grade research projects. Usage of biomaterial to substitute for or induce regeneration, make targeted modifications to portions of organic functions, thereby creating a new species with super distance traits over a long period. It's a vision for which many problems still remain on the technological front, but it was doubtlessly a direction worth looking into. I sneeze. Aside from its academic merit, we see in this paper a quality rare and sought after in a researcher, a keen insight and objective, meticulous, and prudent attitude, as well as a consideration for the ethics of science from beginning to end. In the conclusion, the author even spends a whole section demonstrating that should bioengineering develop and the way that she imagines, it will lead to a clash with Chera's present life sciences, biology, pathology, clinical medicine, and that she expounds on the means necessary to control it, e.g. rating and procedure. Quote, Science's forward-facing outlook entails both unknowns and destruction. Science will broaden our horizons, lengthen our strides, and enrich our forms, but should not become the power which ruins all. It outstands me to imagine that a student so young has such a self-critical mindset, the clarity of which marks her among the most outstanding researchers. It is invaluable and worth rejoicing over. You can't imagine she'll have a project on her own when it comes to research. Yeah, I see her more like overseeing things. I can already picture the bespectacled, pensive, undernourished youth who must have written this. Perhaps we might catch sight of this young Saria at the seminar tomorrow. I look forward to her continued plowing of the field. No doubt the laboratory is the best soil for her to grow in. She'll become an exceptional scientist. Hello, hello. Oh yeah, what do you think of this paper? It's the complete opposite of Saria's. Who's at a paper with all opinions that expressed in this text find origin in the comprehensive misgivings about the situation we are in? Excerpt from his transcript of the Mainlander Foundation academic seminar during the public evaluation stage. Out of today's records, my favorite is Saria's. Like, you go, Saria. So competent. And I love her way of getting to know people in the ring. Like, show me your passion. She'll read their files powerfully and then test them in the ring. Like, dang, Saria. At least she holds back. And I want to start the event. Roll the tape forward. Unrealized reality. Or realities. Yay for the Columbia Air Expo. Let's see how insane it's gonna be. At least going through this part. Oh, you got her single pole. Nice! Reflected in the river, a banshee who has strayed far from home. Convalesce of the Banshees, Castel. Big Larry, woo-ha! Oh, Curly, yahoo! Lil Mo, hi-ya! There's still a ways to go before we pass through the reed beds and arrive at the roosting tree. Shall I take the helm? The bolts of the Convalesce were carved by incantation and are powered by the same. They have no need for physical strength to pilot.
It's fine. Those three are busy running wild. Let them burn off some of that energy.
They have the zoomies. They're more lively than I imagined.
This is them at their calmest, if you can believe it. You don't want to see them rowing wild, deciding who can cry the loudest, or roar the most, or roar most like a mangler beast. They were turned up in that furnace for centuries, after all. They barely had physical form, barely had distinct identities, and you would be rowdy after something like that. It's quiet, the Convalesce.
Pardon?
In Colombia, even a forward-thinking guy like me finds himself flustered at a taxicab door, struggling to find the handle on a newfangled model. Noisy change is Colombia's natural state, the ever-pioneering, ever-advancing nation. She waits for no man, not even for a second. But here, when was the last time I came here?
200 years ago, after Kazo was picked clean in the wake of that bitter war, Viola had only just turned this valley into the home of the Banshees. Do you think Sarah only sees herself as a function for Rhine Lab and does not derive any meaning in Rhine, just like Kristen did? Like Kristen to her, she didn't derive meaning in Rhine. More like she chose not to because even if she did, it could not outweigh the weight of her dreams. Well, if anything, maybe not Kristen, sorry, would see Rhine as being like a way to... how do I describe it? Support the dreams of the future. Cause she sees the potential in people like that one Sky Jagger dude. She's just like, you just need more experience first before you can start doing things on your own. Let me help get you that. I'm gonna help support you. Which I think is really sweet. Super hands-on. Like, she just wants to support the youth.
Yep, can't have been easy finding a place like this snuggled up to all these originium Dow's mountains. Miss Lake's rippling mirror, sunken trees among the reed beds, forests carpeting the land in gold, and the banshees working the oars of their boats, gently blowing on their leaf whistles. It's like the valley itself is breathing. Even after all these years, the Convelis hasn't changed a bit. Aside from the one who ferried me the last time around.
Baila,
my old friend, did she already move into that wooden house under the tree?
she did so last month, Tin Man. I heard she worked you into one of her tales, telling the children of the mists of the Convalis are puffs from your pipe. But a day later, when the children pestered her as to how you persuaded that empty suit of armor, or escaped being thrown into the furnace, hearing your name only confused her.
She's starting to forget.
Indeed, forgetfulness. Death's warning to a banshee. Aw. Well, that's sad. She moved into the house after that, like every other banshee she has seen off over the years, peacefully waiting for the end to come.
Seeing off an old friend who's forgotten my name, didn't think my trip here would end up being so heavy.
I would like you to comfort her in your own way. She has given far too much of herself for us, for the Convalis, and for the Sarkaz. You know her type, always insisting on wallowing in unknowable suffering. I simply hope that as the 300 years worth of memories slowly leave her side, she can find some solace.
Sure.
We're here. This is starting off so bittersweet.
Liqueur Maline.
Do you require my presence for your goodbyes?
Nobody here.
But... how?
Baila left? Where can a banshee losing her memory even go?
Oh no, she's wandering. Whoa, why is the elevator so dark? I thought there'd be a window or something to look out. Did you read the Propeller Paradise handbook they gave out? It's for building suspense so that everybody here for the Air Expo Columbia gets an optimal high-altitude experience. Advanced tickets sold like hotcakes. I tell you what, this is gonna blow those dime a dozen rinky-dink drones that have been popping up everywhere these past 2 years. Alright, no need to show off how well you memorize the handbook. We've already put up propellers in every piece of furniture in our house that can take them. Does every Colombian these days hear the word sky and get all worked up into a tizzy? Also, did you notice, even after all this time, we still haven't reached the levitation layer? That means... it means the park really is as tall as the ads say, and our latest levitation tech really can hold up an entire building. We've come to the right place, dear. Where's the music coming from? Is this an elevator ad? What is this? Hi everyone, I'm Oakley, your guide to the park. I get it, being cooped up in a little black box must be awfully boring. You want to get to the punchline already. But once you get your one-of-a-kind view of all of Terra from 600 meters up, it'll be worth it. In 40 seconds, we'll be arriving at Propeller Paradise's levitation layer. Before that, I'd like to tell you... I'd like you all to noodle on one question. What sort of change will the sky bring to our lives? He might already have the chance to try the flying cars in the lower level exhibition area today, trading tires for originium thrusters. Soon, the only place to see anything with wheels or tracks is gonna be a museum. Doesn't matter if it's a baby stroller or a pneumatic city. Today, we struggle to decide whether to go to Minos or Siesta for summer vacation. But our indecisionitis is only going to get that much worse once every star in the sky is a potential holiday destination. The gifts you bring home for your kids after the tour might be a model of the Ring Lab or maybe a DIY rocket kit. But it won't be long before an extraterrestrial playmate is the newest preschool trend. I love these. Tonight, we'll be gathered by the radio, betting on whether the station will, out of all the songs about the sky, pick our beloved Good Night, Kristen Wright. Even have a song for her. Oh yes. Good Night, Kristen Wright. But soon we'll be forgetting all about that bassy, raspy crooner. Or the bassy, raspy crooner. Because the solar wind will be our new strings, and the galaxy will be our custom-ordered jukebox. The sky's Columbia's next frontier. That's more than just Vice President Jackson's campaign slogan. I love this. You know, potential thumbnail. Propeller Paradise proves that every Colombian can be the greatest of pioneers. There'll always be a place for you somewhere beyond the star pod. Oh wait, this is better. Wait. I like this. The Air Expo Colombia begins in just 7 days, and with it, everything I just said, hold on to your tickets, or should I say, your keys to the future. Okay, I mean, everyone's seen the sky opening over tri-mounts, of course. And the old adage of seeing is believing has never been more true, so come see, then believe. This is great. Ooh, they made it. Levitation layer for Propeller Paradise Experimental Park. Nice to finally meet you all. Recognize me? I'm the model for the funny cartoon guide you saw just now, Oakley Parsons. Welcome to Terra's one and only levitating experimental park pneumatic plate, Columbia's Propeller Paradise. Oh, he looks cool. That's very dapper looking.
Welcome to Propeller Paradise. Your investment is greatly appreciated. Cloud, is this restaurant the highest point in the park? Being this close to the sky is really making my heart skip some beats.
I want to eat in a Hyatt place. Looks fun. Or it is fun, actually.
What's your drink of choice? Your jaw's been hanging open since the moment you stepped out of the elevator, so I imagine you must be mighty thirsty right about now.
Like, this feels so silly. I appreciate it. This is exciting. I want to go to Columbia's Air Expo.
How considerate of you, Mr. Tannen. What a fine administrator you are for this Propeller Paradise. I know just how you feel. I first heard about this park back when I was with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Arts Units, and Originium.
What a wide array. Alcohol, tobacco, arts units, and Originium. Like, huh?
And my mouth went so dry, it was like I've been stuck in the desert for days. Ever since Vice President Jackson gave that speech before Congress about Columbia setting off into the sky 2 years back, everyone's been hoping to be one of the lucky few to reach up and touch the star pod. So that's why you gave up the chance for a promotion at the ATAO to do admin work for the Propeller Paradise? That's right, sir. Fact of the matter is, I've got a keen eye for potential. Propeller Paradise got DC's backing the moment it started construction, becoming Colombia's only nomadic plate with an autonomous administration. The brutes at the Department of Defense and those Department of Justice hardheads have no authority here. Even us bureau folks are only allowed to leave a rulebook on the table. 80 years of originating product, inspection rights gone, poof. As for the non-government agencies, only Mainlanders Emergency Management Council has the right to stick around. Fortunately, the only worry about unusual accidents that might happen in the park. This place isn't even 6 months old yet, but hundreds of sci-tech companies have set up here. We've got near 10,000 researchers coming and going, and the Intellectual Property and Information Security Office gets almost 100 patent applications every day. I have to say, Propeller Paradise has been developing much faster than expected, and in so short a time. You're right on the mark. In 7 days, the park will be linking up with Max DC, officially cutting the ribbon on Air Expo Colombia. The whole country will be watching the opening ceremony. Every company here is going full throttle on the R&D we're about to show off. No better time to invest in now than right now. I've still got a few concerns. Concern is normal, risks and all that. But as they say, in this park is the sky, foul beasts fly right into the pot for you. I've already poured out the celebratory champagne, so don't let it go to waste. Trust me, it'll shake your thirst. Your thirst for everything.
My god, am I really standing above the clouds? Are those really foul beasts flying under my feet? This is crazy. I'm feeling a little lightheaded, thirsty, heart racing like mad. Sounds like you need some Dr. Oxygen. Right, an oxygen tank. Wait, this is a drink? Stiffer than a stiff drink, softer than a soft drink, your best friends in the sky. The best choice would be that summer heat. Our park special brew, Dr. Oxygen. Be honest with me here. Weren't you jealous of Santa wings when you were a kid, even if they can't fly with them? I'll be jealous no more because drinking Dr. Oxygen is like plunging your tongue into liquid wings. It's sweeter than your wildest dreams. I want to try some Dr. Oxygen.
What's the ads? Should be giving visitors basic info on the park's upper level?
Just leave her be. Look at the big smiles on the guests. It takes something special to sell ordinary soda like it's some revolutionary invention. A refreshing soda goes great with the sights and sounds of Propeller Paradise. Okay, everyone, follow me. We'll introduce this park's levitation layer. The upper level has 11 main platforms and 20 auxiliary ones. These 2 passages are on the streets, while flexible cables from the foundations of the platforms. Interesting looking area. I want the blue bottle. Just like the structural layer down on the ground, the levitation layer is divided into the experiment zone and the exhibition area. Each tech firm is allocated a few levitation pods that serve as labs for researchers or exhibition spaces for the public to try things out for themselves. The high-altitude elevators only bring you to the lowest level, the lowest of the levitation plates. This roadway station is a local traffic hub with more than 100 flight pods attached to the cables. These cable cars are the only real way to get around. Want a more exciting way to get around? You could try the emergency jump pads on the support platform. Just don't tell park security I said that you could do that. I will say that pre-expo rules mean that you can only test a few of the exhibits right now, but I promise, you're still gonna be feasting. As a friendly reminder, the strong sunlight up here will make people thirstier than usual, but there's all sorts of flavors of Dr. Oxygen available on every levitation platform. No need to worry, everyone. You're not getting addicted to soda. You're getting addicted to the sky. Girl.
Pleasure doing business with you, Mr. Tannen. I knew you picked the right man to work with the moment I heard you managed to get the feds to approve this place's special status in only 2 days.
I think it'd be super fun.
Pleasure's all mine, sir. Now if you please sign here. The older gentleman's been standing there a while now. He a friend of yours? Sorry to interrupt your business. Just came here looking to reminisce about the good old days. Well, I'll be. Gustav here was my boss back at the bureau. When did you show up? In this park in the sky, Phi-MDs fly right into the pot for you. Haha, that little thing of Mr. Tannen's struck me real deep. You skipped the best part of the story though. Story goes that the foul beasts of the Colombian wilds are mighty sly, tough little guys to catch, but the pioneers of the Great Expansion managed to figure out a way. They tie some pretty feathers to their pots and hang up a few dozen of them around their camp. The fowl think it's a potential mate, so they let down their guard, spread their wings, and swoop down. Then bam, head first into the back of the pot, thinking there's a lovely gal or fella waiting for them, even as they meet their maker. Wait, you mean... Still spinning tall tales out of that old yarn, Gustav. Last time he said the little beasties were smart enough to tell snare from seduction, and that they never fell for it. I know you dropped by because you're worried I get my tongue tied doing business, but I'm not the same kid I was 7 years back. I know how to behave. Considering the former ATAO chief came over to back me up, are you still concerned, sir? Ha. Seems I was misunderstanding things since the both of you gave me your guarantees. I'll just sign here. Exactly what I wanted to hear. Look forward to working with you. Didn't get enough of teaching me back at the bureau, chief. Decided to come out of retirement to run me through the same old curriculum in a different classroom. Now, I never taught you to tell lies in your government applications. The investor's still in the vetting phase too. So what? Even if the bureau rules tie your hands and mouth, let your tail do the talking. You remember my words real well, but where's the results? Still a third over the target. Seems to me that you'd do better if you untied your hands and mouth, wouldn't you say? Care to explain? Take a look at your terminal. You're not just an administrator anymore. You got total control over Propeller Paradise. You actually recommended me for a chief executive of the entire park? Managing Propeller Paradise needs a special touch. Don't forget, you're still a bureau man, so don't make us look bad. Don't need to remind me, chief. We got everything handled. The expo will go off without a hitch. Don't get cocky, kid. You and I both know that investors saw through your tricks, even if he signed the huge deal with you. He won't go back on it. Every company on the Flower Street exchange with the word Sky in its name is guaranteed a sky-high IPO. Columbia's taking great strides in the air these days. Even little kids who can't spell storepod are putting rockets on their folded napkin aircraft. I'm sure you know where this Sky Mania came from.
Like, I love his fit. Like, I think he looks cool.
Trimonts 2 years ago, when 1 million people witnessed a miracle. If it wasn't for Kristen Wright, all your talk about progress, the future, and conquest wouldn't be worth a dime. When Ryan Lab first submitted their park project plan to DC, you were still inspecting butts and tails for immigration. There's only one thing at Propeller Paradise I don't control. Still belongs to the one who started the whole thing. You better get a bridle around your wrists here. You only got 7 days. What are you gonna do?
Ooh, this place looks fun. I like this section. Ground layer, Propeller Paradise Experimental Park. I need the parameters, Sky.
Send them over already.
The values for floating but botanical unit have deviated.
This is the first time we're using plants to perform long-distance energy transfer instead of the usual cables. There's still too many unconfirmed hypotheses. We need to compare the data from this unit with the ones on the upper level if we want quick results. I'll head up for you, Director.
No need. The light sensors on this unit are extremely sensitive to the directionality of the light it's using as an energy source. Errors actually mean it's getting a passing grade. I just told you this 2 hours ago.
Sorry. Let me ask again, what sort of tree is planted in this unit you just gave me? You saw my resume when I was interview director. You know I'm no botanist. I do. You're not earning a degree by glancing down at that list of plants you're holding. You've got something else on your mind. The advanced ticket tour should be over by now. The guide was supposed to bring the visitors down to the lower level exhibitions to see Ryan Lab's vivarium 20 minutes ago. If we're excluded from the pre-expo, then Ryan Lab's gonna get kicked out of the park when the real expo starts.
No, to see the vivarium. Come on, tour guide. I want to root for you. Come on, girl. Occasionally, visitors to Repeller Paradise notice Ryan's logo plastered on the facilities and talk about the legendary company that performed the miracle of opening up the sky. But very few of them notice under the layers of levitating installations under the very ground itself. A Rhineland director standing beside an unremarkable hole in the dirt. We don't specialize in attracting visitors, Sky. Honestly, I forgot what I was good at pretty early into the 6 months I've been here. Oh, it's been 6 months.
You stuffed a dozen of us researchers into the vivarium after setting up the park, making us tend to the saplings and debug the botanical units, also that the park could have a few fruit trees for decor. No large-scale experimentation or anything.
Do you think we're just here to be gardeners?
No. I know the vivarium is our expo showcase. It's the Ring Lab's legacy, even if it has to stay on the ground. But how long has it been since we last looked up at the sky?
Nasty Lunaray looks up 2 years ago, deep below the outskirts of Tri-Mounts. She would stand at the bottom of the SHAFT and look up at the night sky in much the same way. Yeah, Sky wants to prove himself, but I do like how he's actually taking Sari's advice and getting some experience. It's good to get experience under the belt. Though he's confused, he's like, why? Like, huh? Why am I being sent out to do gardening? Like, I can see the confusion in that part. He's like, I'm not a botanist. Why am I doing this part? But okay, she must have a reason for making me do this. 6 months though, holy cow. It was round, feeble. She could cover it with just one hand, but at the same time, she found it captivating and frightening to the mind. But now the skies become altogether unfamiliar. Tower Mountains, Biotech Solar Boats, Beachbrella's Disc Lab, Volvort Kuczynski's High-Precision Astronomical Telescope, and Mama John's all-weather floating billboards. Mama John! They crowd the sky with pure, concentrated Columbia.
Ryan proposed the park with only one thing in mind: how to make buildings levitate longer using a structural engineering approach. The corridors linking the levitating plates, the oxygen and water systems for the experiment zones, this planting unit in my hand, they're important parts of the park's fundamental structure and Ryan's achievements. We have only 7 days until the expo begins. We need to finish testing and checking all the exhibits as quickly as possible. We are Propeller Paradise's engineering department right now. Don't forget your duty. That's all. Your dreams, Chris's dreams in the sky, are just going to die like that?
Sunlight filters through the chaotic tangle of levitating objects before falling onto Nasty's face. She does not reply. She simply pulls down the brim of her hard hat. Aw. Yeah, it was supposed to be her project on progress. But now it's Air Expo. But yo, I'm not gonna lie, I'd be excited for Air Expo. Like, I know it's supposed to be for business and stuff, or not really business or stuff. It's for science. But I go there for fun. It looks fun. Like, look at this. Look at the insanity. Skyjagger's just too excited. I just love how his name is actually Sky. I wonder if that's his real name or if he changed it. Just because, of course, he looks up to Kristen. He's like, the sky! So I shall be sky as well. Sky, sky, sky. You know, I'll continue the event tomorrow. So I can farm properly. But he definitely has a romanticized version of Kristen's legacy. Like, he thinks that she's just super duper cool and epic, which isn't a lie necessarily, but it's more than that. Like, oh, Sky. But yeah, I'm excited for Air Expo. I want to be able to farm properly. I want to see the insanity. And I want to collect some Dr. Oxygen. Mmm, delicious. The greatest soda. Like, I don't even like carbonation, but I would drink it. I want to try it. Dr. Oxygen. The many flavors. She imagined she didn't leave a legacy. But too bad she did. And look at this Air Expo. They even have a song about her, which I think is amazing. Like, good for you, Kristen. Good night, Kristen Wright. But yeah, I'll probably start Air Expo tomorrow. But for now, I'll fill up my water and stuff and see what kind of snacks are in the kitchen, because I could smell something being cooked. I think it's some sort of meat dish, because it smelled meaty to me. I'll do my normal time tomorrow. Like, just in case family wants to go out for food since Uncle's still on island. He recently came back from a trip from the Philippines. And he's staying until, I guess, like, the weekend's over. So, woohoo, maybe I'll get some good food. I want to go out for pho. Pho, please. If not tomorrow, maybe Sunday. I have hopes. I have hopes for at least something. But yeah, I'm excited. Oh, he definitely had a great time there. He's been there before. And last time he brought back so many different snacks. I enjoy them all. Like, thank you, Uncle. Nom 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 nom. Mmm, delicious. But yeah, I'm curious what's in the kitchen. So I'll hop off for now. So that being said, thank you everyone for stopping by the stream. I hope everyone has a great rest of the day at Gotcha Luck. Time for me to eat a little snack. So bye bye. Woohoo!